Hey, welcome back to Gold's Garage. So we're at Bill Little's shop in Belmont, Ontario again today. So the camshaft is easily the most complex component of the engine. It has the most influence about how much power the engine is going to make, how well it's going to run, how drivable it's going to be, a whole bunch of other factors. It's a huge set of compromises, no matter, unless you're running a fuel dragster, there's compromises involved. And so just selecting a camshaft, even for a lot of good car guys that know how to build engines, is a challenge. How about designing one from scratch? So I sure didn't know how to do that, but I got somebody here that does. And you all know him, Bill Little. Everybody loves to hear
Hey
Bill.
guys.
So this is back to the 427 BluePrint engine of David Bougie's that we still have all apart. Bill flowed the heads here a couple weeks ago. And we're in the process. He already has the cam ordered, actually. He's already designed it, got it ordered. And he's going to flow the heads. And together with the main two improvements we're going to make is the port work and stuff that Bill's going to do on the heads and the new camshaft. And Bill can go back on, you're going to do a comparison of the old camshaft. So I know you didn't come here to watch me, you came to watch Bill, so I'll turn it over to Bill and let him get started here. So
Okay, thanks Alan. So we had basically a lazy camshaft with the BluePrint motor. It was made to go lots of miles and be easy on stuff and get out of warranty probably. The cam was a cast core, and it was a 1036 base circle. So I wanted to design a cam that was going to take the advertised duration away. So we had the BluePrint cam was 302 on the intake, 319 on the exhaust. So the new cam that I designed, it's got faster ramps on it. It's 295, 304. So we took like 15 degrees seat timing off the exhaust and 7 degrees seat timing off the intake. Now at 50 thou, the old cam was 241, 249. The new cam's going to be 244, 252. So we upped the cam a little bit size-wise. The old cam was 112 lobe separation. The new cam's going to be 108.5. And yes, you can order a cam 108.5. They're within half a degree now.
And they can actually do it.
They can actually do it with the new equipment they have.
Okay.
So the overlap on the old cam advertised was 85 degrees. The new cam's 2 degrees less advertised. That's where we're going to keep the vacuum decent, I think, by not increasing the overlap. Now at 50 thou, the old cam was 21 degrees overlap, and the new cam's 32. So that's because the ramps are quicker. Now the intake duration at 200 is interesting, and the exhaust duration also. Intake is 156 degrees at 200 thou lift. The new cam is 164, so that's 8 degrees faster. And the exhaust was 160 degree, and we're 172. That's 12 degrees more duration. So it's not just the opening and closing duration. That duration adds area above that, because the lobe's basically going to be wider up top. And it's not just about the opening and closing numbers advertised. It's what happens later. You know, the engine doesn't know how it's getting its air. It doesn't know there's a valve opening and there's a cam that's opening the valve. It just knows that it wants a certain amount of air to produce a certain amount of horsepower. Now the lift, intake lift on the old cam was 574, new cam 636. And if you look at 10 thou lift is 1 degree basically in duration. So we've gone up about 6 degrees, I guess, 5 degrees, just by adding lift to it, and that's going to add horsepower also, without hurting the overlap. Exhaust was 579, and I kept it close at 581. The new cam is a 8620 core. 12-000-11 is the custom cam number. I'm using a QNI intake lobe and basically it's a QNX exhaust lobe. They're made to grind smaller base circle on a lot of those. So the base circle is going to be 980 base circle. Because of the lift, the base circle has to be smaller. You can't gain lift if they don't increase the lift of the lobe. They take it off the base circle, and that's where the lift comes from, because the lobe can only be so high to go in the cam bearings. The cam bearings are only so big, so they take it off the base circle. That increases the lift. I did a cranking compression on it's a formula on my performance trends. The 427 cam would have cranked roughly 170 psi. The new cam is going to crank at 187. BluePrint recommended the 170 at 91 octane, so the 187 will be fine at 84 octane. And we'll tune it on the dyno also. So I'm looking for, horsepower-wise, Alan, how much do you think it's going to make more?
So we just had a discussion about that. So I'm putting it together. I'm going to make sure it doesn't blow up. You tell me how much power it's
I got to
make.
I got to make the horsepower. So I'm gonna a very educated guess will be 590 and 565 to 570 torque. So
that's 50 horsepower gain.
And
that's with the head work as well?
Yep, the head work and the cam.
As we just learned from the video I just made with my 406, when I added a lift with a bigger rocker, it didn't help. Obviously, the head wasn't up to it, right? The head didn't help. I mean, even though I did look it up, by those Flowtech heads flow 316, I think, at 600 thou. But it didn't help going there, that's for sure. It didn't make any more power at all. So that lesson learned. So the idea here is Bill's doing the heads and he's doing the cam. So my job just to make sure it doesn't blow up. You take care of the rest. So.
I hate that part of it. I don't like to see things blow up.
It won't blow up, I'll tell you that.
All right. So
the power's on you.
So Alan's going to do a spreadsheet with all these numbers and stuff on so that you can see it. You guys will find this is really interesting, how you can manipulate the numbers and change things. Okay, so here's another thing.
Yeah.
Vacuum. So where does the vacuum go? What causes a vacuum in an engine? I bet you a lot of you guys have never really thought about it, but it's the piston that creates a vacuum. Both the speed of the piston going down the bore, and if both valves are closed, if you think about it, it can't create vacuum, right? So the intake valve has to be open in order to create vacuum. The vacuum leak occurs at top dead center through the exhaust. The exhaust isn't moving fast enough. There's no vacuum in the exhaust yet to evacuate the cylinder, so the leak goes right out the exhaust. And
that's over scavenging, right?
That's over scavenging.
We run into that on the dyno all the time, right?
And I found that out a long time ago on my Superstock stuff, that I had to close the exhaust earlier, especially on a lower compression engine, because you don't have compression will create more vacuum because there's less volume above. There's less volume above when the piston starts pulling down. So low compression motor, high compression motor has to be a little bit different, and of course we're pretty much right in the middle at 10-1. So it's not all carved in stone, but a low compression motor wants the exhaust valve closed earlier. So that's something else.
So just a couple things. As usual, Excel spreadsheet. I know Bill rhymed off a lot of numbers there. I couldn't follow it all, but I can put it on the spreadsheet for you. So we will put a full-size screenshot of the calculations Bill did and the spreadsheet at the end. And listening to Bill, a lot of guys, you look at an engine, it doesn't look all that complicated, and then there's another level of guys, what I guess kind of are in my area, and then I think he's climbed into past the intake valve and went for a ride, and he kind of feels it from the inside out. That's what it feels like. And that's what it takes to design a custom. You're stepping aside the cam grinders and saying I can even do better than they're doing, and
Yep.
and you do, right?
Yep,
You do it all the
exactly.
time, right?
Yep.
So
Yep. I
That's
wake
pretty
up in the
cool.
middle of the night and I think about this stuff. So
you have to be.
I have to. I'll lay there for an hour thinking about this stuff.
Well, now you're sharing it with everybody else. Thanks very much, Bill.
You're
That's,
welcome.
that's awesome. So we'll put all this together. So Bill's got the cam ordered, and he's got the heads. He's right behind him on the flow bench still. So the target,
Right here.
I give Bill a target. Get those heads done by the time the cam gets here. I'll get that thing back together. September the 6th is dyno date for the 427.
Yep.
So that should be lots of time. That's more than a month from now.
And I will be at the U.S. Nationals.
Oh, you won't be here. That's too bad. Yeah, I'll call you. So. Okay, I think any more, Bill?
I think I babbled on enough.
No, it's not babbling. So please like and subscribe as usual. Thanks for watching. We're creating lots of interest with this 427 and the 406. We did pretty good last weekend on the dyno. We're pretty happy with that. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. In fact, Brian Salter contacted me after he saw it. He said, "Would you mind if I made a video about that video? There's lots of good points I want to comment on." And of course, I'd be honored to have him do that. He's kind of at Bill's level when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I'm sure I'll learn from that as well. Anything else?
I think you covered it all.
Thanks for watching Gold's Garage.